We're closing in on having a new area code in southwestern Indiana. More on what you need to know. Plus, Jasper police are now utilizing Twitter to provide information for the public, and Jasper Arts Director Kit Miracle is tonight's guest on Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. We begin tonight with a Huntingburg man being arrested after he led police on a high-speed chase spanning Martin and DuBois counties. Just before 10:55 last night, Indiana State Police Trooper Andrew Beaver was on patrol along US 231 south of Lagodi near County Road 200 South when he saw a motorcycle headed southbound at a high rate of speed. Trooper Beaver found through radar that the motorcycle was going 71 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour speed zone. Trooper Beaver then turned on his emergency lights and sirens to pull the motorcycle over, but the driver, 21-year-old James Sheppers, accelerated and the chase was on. Sheppers reached speeds of 115 miles per hour as he headed south into DuBois County and through Hayesville. The pursuit was terminated at that point and Jasper police were called to look out for the motorcycle. At about 11 o'clock, Jasper police found the motorcycle headed south into town at more than 100 miles per hour. The pursuit then resumed at that point. Sheppers turned westward onto 36th Street. He went less than a mile before stopping behind a residence in the 1100 block of West 36th Street. Sheppers and a female passenger on the motorcycle were then taken into custody until Trooper Beaver arrived on scene. The female passenger was released without charges. Meanwhile, Sheppers was taken and booked into the Martin County Jail. He is currently facing a Level 5 felony for resisting law enforcement with a vehicle. He also faces a Class A misdemeanor for criminal recklessness and a Class B misdemeanor for reckless driving. Now, all of the aforementioned charges are in Martin County. State police say DuBois County charges against Sheppers may be pending in this case. The DuBois County Sheriff's Department also assisted. Well, we're now less than a month away from a new area code here in southwestern Indiana, and folks need to be getting ready. Beginning on September 6th, the 930 area code will be introduced through the overlay method to our viewing area. Folks will then have to dial 10 digits for all calls, including local calls. Local calls that are dialed in the old 7-digit format beginning on September 6th and beyond will get a recording that will ask them to hang up and dial again using the 10-digit dialing method. We are currently wrapping up a 6-month grace period for folks to get used to the dialing changes. The state's Office of Utility Consumer Counselor opened that window back on March 1st. Officials say the overlay method has been used for every new area code added nationwide since 2008. The positive news about this overlay: you don't have to change your existing phone number. You also will not have to dial a 1 or a 0 ahead of any number that you want to dial. New landlines will be assigned the 930 area code beginning on October 6th. That also applies to customers who move to a new location anywhere in southern Indiana at that time. Troopers with the Indiana State Police Jasper Post will be setting up a sobriety checkpoint at an undisclosed location in Perry County. The checkpoint will be in place tomorrow evening. Folks passing through the checkpoint will need to have their driver's licenses and registrations ready to present to troopers. They will only be held briefly while troopers decide if further investigation is necessary. Now, the reason for the sobriety checkpoint is to take alcohol and or drug-impaired motorists off of the road. Those drivers pose a threat to other drivers on the roads. State police say impaired drivers are responsible for billions of dollars in property damage, personal injuries, and deaths each year. State police are offering a few tips for folks to avoid being over the limit and under arrest. These include having a designated sober driver, not letting friends drive while impaired, and never giving alcohol to anyone under the age of 21. Motorists encountering another vehicle being operated erratically are asked to dial 911 or to call the Jasper, Indiana State Police Post. Those numbers are 482-1441 or 1-800-742-7475. You should be ready to describe the vehicle, where it is located, and what direction it's headed in. The Jasper Police Department is now turning to Twitter as a means to keep folks informed. The department announced the new account yesterday afternoon, though the first tweet from the account went out yesterday morning. The initial tweet was a 2014 department photo. The department also tweeted out a reminder to folks to watch out for school buses as school gets back in session. Jasper Assistant Police Chief Nathan Schmidt says the idea was inspired by a young man who got a ticket for not wearing his seatbelt during Operation Pullover.
He kind of made the claim like, man, I didn't know you guys were working a special project, or else maybe I would have wore my seatbelt and not gotten a ticket. And I told him it's been in the newspaper, and he kind of claimed like, I don't read the newspaper. If it was on my Twitter account, I would have known, and I would have retweeted it to make my friends aware of it.
The account will be used for things such as public service announcements and street closures. It also may be used for other items that affect city residents, such as power outages. Now, Jasper Police are not the first local law enforcement group to be on Twitter. The Indiana State Police Jasper and Evansville posts also use Twitter. Those accounts are linked with Public Information Officers Sergeant Philip Hensley and Sergeant Todd Ringel, respectively. Schmidt says the department hopes to learn from those who have already had success using Twitter.
We've actually contacted Phil to see what his parameters are, and to see how he's using it, to see if that's if we can use it in similar ways, what's worked good for him and what's not worked for him.
The Jasper Police Department's Twitter handle is @JasperCityPD. Folks can also get texting alerts on their mobile devices. To set those up, you can text @JasperCityPD to 40404. As of news time, the department had more than 110 Twitter followers. The community of St. Anthony's 150th sesquicentennial celebration is set to kick off this Sunday, August 10th, with a Queen's contest that evening. Sesquicentennial Queen candidates include Nicole Eppel, Mariah Fleck, Peyton Prechtel, Kylie Hassenauer, Emma Hurst, Catherine Hurst, Kayla Knust, Haley Thayer, and Jordan Vogus. A Junior Miss pageant will also be taking place along with the Queen contest on Sunday. Those vying for the Junior Miss title are Hannah Speedy, Ellie Hall, Emma Hall, Riley Prechtel, Madison Fleck, and Olivia Englert. Both the Sesquicentennial Queen and Junior Miss contests will begin at 6 p.m. at Cedar Crest Intermediate School. The St. Anthony Sesquicentennial Fest opening ceremonies will be held a week from today. The celebration will last through Sunday, August 17th. A regional economic development group plans to take over an area business alliance as part of future growth plans. Radius Indiana's CEO Becky Skillman has announced that the group will be taking control of the Southern Indiana Business Alliance and its functions. Skillman says members of SEBA have long been champions of Crane Naval Surface Warfare Center and strong supporters of growth and strengthening of the state's defense and national security industries. SEBA has played a role in several different initiatives surrounding the state's defense sector. These include taking a lead role in providing support for Crane during the U.S. Department of Defense's base realignment and closure back in 2005. Skillman says the move is a way to build a stronger and more unified voice for strengthening the state's defense industry going forward. She says SEBA's members will continue to play a key role in the future. Radius Indiana will continue to serve as the main point of contact for Crane outside of its gates. Radius Indiana is a regional partnership that was formed back in 2009. It serves 8 counties in all, and that includes Crawford, Davies, DuBois, Martin, and Orange counties in our local area. Finally this evening, the first woman to lead the Indiana Supreme Court says she appreciates the vote of confidence and looks forward to a time when having a female Chief Justice is not unique. Yesterday, the state's Judicial Nominating Commission chose Loretta Rush to succeed Brent Dixon as the High Court's leader over fellow Justices Mark Massa, Stephen David, and Robert Rucker. Dixon announced back in June that he would step down as Chief Justice but would remain as an Associate Justice. Dixon originally succeeded Randall Shepard as Chief Justice back in 2012. He faces mandatory retirement when he turns 75 coming up in 2016. Rush is a former Tippecanoe County judge and was appointed by former Governor Mitch Daniels back in 2012. She is the first woman to serve on the state Supreme Court since Myra Selby stepped down in 1999. Now, Governor Mike Pence says Rush will serve the state judiciary with distinction. He says the nominating panel has made history while ensuring strong leadership in the years to come. All right, coming up after the break, your local forecast, sports with Kurt Guxell, and Inform with Kit Miracle. That's all up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.